appropriate, guys. I think something's live because my phone is dinging. Let me see. All right, let me turn that up. This is not so bad for not being in the studio. All right, let me turn that up. That's not bad. This is not so bad for not being in the studio. See, you hear myself back. I'm hearing me back. Me back, not me back. Me back.
Okay,
See, you hear myself back. So you good? I'm gonna stop this from playing. Okay. I'm gonna stop. I said stop it. Hey y'all, what's up? So yeah, for those of you joining us right now, you're wondering what is going on? Like, what is that black thing? My $3,000 laptop is in a laptop tent because, as you can see, it is quite sunny where I am, Quest.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's not just sunny, it's hot, well hot, which is good.
And I'd like to take that heat over. You know what? Today I'm not.
You don't want no heat. You don't want no heat. You don't want no
I'm
heat.
not going to complain because the temperature outside today is in the low to mid 60s. So I'm not going to complain. It could be a whole lot worse than that. So today I can put a hoodie on, go outside, and I'll be good. You know. But if I had a preference, if I had a preference, my preference would be to be where you are.
Okay, well, I'm not going to take you upstairs because that would just ruin your morning.
Well, I mean, that's where we really should have, you know what I'm saying, gave them
instead of sitting right here.
Oh man,
I should have been looking out
with that in your backdrop.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week is the week. Next week I go on the third floor veranda and give y'all a vision of the world.
Yeah,
from my perspective, as long as the internet
from my island perspective.
That's it, man. So hey, for those of you joining us, let me go on my page because let me see if Officer Craig is getting the thing now, man. I don't know if he's getting them. I don't know. He was on last week. All right. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and if you're ready, Quest, I'm gonna try to do this share screen complicated switch that I never usually have to do because I be in the studio.
Yep.
And yeah, so let me click share screen first.
Let's get it.
And it's good for the audio. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And you can see this little thing right here. And so yeah, let me go ahead and ask you to be quiet on the SET.
Peace, y'all. It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
Y'all already know. When I get in here.
Oh, boy.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Podcast. You already know who I am, the host with the most. You know what I'm saying? Quest up in the building, and ladies and gentlemen, and you know what I'm saying? I'll try to twist that up like Chip Fu a while ago. Let me introduce to you and present to others my man, my man, ladies, gentlemen, children, and everyone from every place in space. L. David Harris.
Oh. He said it. Get on the mic.
NMC.
What up, Quest?
What's up, man? What's up, man?
Listen, man. I'm over here in the sun, man.
I thought you had the bell. I just wanted to make. Did you have the bell?
Oh, the bell. I do have the bell.
Come on. How they
Do
gonna
I
know
have
to
the
get in the
bell?
classroom if they are always chilling? If they
Wes,
always, yeah.
I'm dropping on my job, man.
No,
I
I'm
forgot.
just saying, if they in the hallway chilling, like, let them know to come inside.
All right. Well, then class is in session.
Yeah, no doubt. If they outside, because you know what happened. You remember when we used to be in high school? We used to be in the hallways, in the stairwells, in the cafeteria. We used to be in all of them places, and we wouldn't know it was class time unless that bell rang. You feel me?
That's right. Ting-a-ling-a-ling. School up. Yeah. Never mind.
But the bell was to let you know that class was about to start, whether you was in there or not. And if you was late, then you know what I'm saying? Detention it is. You feel me? So
yeah, I feel you. You feel me? You feel me right now?
Shouts out to you, D. Like for real. Life is lovely on the stateside. You know what I'm saying? I finally am closing up the last pieces to the book cover. So yep.
He has a book, y'all. He got a book. Quest has a book. We didn't talk about it on here too much.
Oh man, we're gonna talk about it in the next, you know what I'm saying, this week, because by next week, hopefully, if they can get everything finished, then we'll start pre-sales and we can start talking about it on the podcast next week. So man, yep, it's the name of the book is called Quest for Faith: The Journey to Experience the Phenomenal Marriage That You Deserve.
Ooh, keep the faith, man. Come on.
Oh man.
Let's go.
She's been a blessing and a like for real, just a helpmeet all around, right? And so I'm thankful for her. I'm thankful for this process because I learned a lot about myself in this process. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not. People say, "Oh, you're an author now." I don't know if I would classify myself as an author just because I wrote this book, right? I'm leaning into it now. This is my first book. And so I'm learning still a lot about it, but everything, the beginnings of what I know, I put in it. I didn't put everything in there because there's so much more to write, and I want to be able to put it in other projects to come. And yeah, this process stretched me as an individual. D, you have a lock in and a gift for that kind of stuff in a way that I don't, and so I'm learning how to do that now. You know what I mean? Like,
wonderful, man. It's a learning process for everybody. It's just a matter of what are we learning?
Yes,
that's the only difference. It's the only difference. What are we learning?
So yeah. It's a biographical approach. There's tools, strategies.
It's a biographical approach. You're not an author. Hear him. It's a biographical approach, in case you're wondering. As we were developing the content, we decided that we would take the biographical approach. As my writing craft is developing, I figured that would be the best option. Biographical. Hear him. Yeah.
If you didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
But I like it, man.
It has tools and strategies and life's experience within the realm of marriage, family. And hopefully it's a blessing to everybody who purchases.
Wonderful, man. So there are people who need it. And so listen, you already know I ride with you, man. So let's get them.
Come on. I would ask you, how are things on the, I'm going to say it anyway, and I know what the response is going to be. Life is life, and it is indeed life. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yep. As far as I can see, for those who are on the podcast, you don't know that there's a moringa tree, 2 moringa trees right there. And then there's a Julie mango tree here. And then there is pomegranate here. So, and there's sweet sop, panganat. And then a next sweet sop, and then here is the ackee, and then some more. Don't worry about that. And for who are watching, you can see this little black thing on 2 sides because my $3,000 laptop is in a laptop tent because it is quite sunny. And then the table is white, so I'm not trying to cook my laptop out here, man.
Bro, I was good when you said the moringa tree. But when you said the Julie, not just mango tree, Julie mango tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have the soursop tree.
Oh, this is East Indian right here, behind me,
That's
behind me.
crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just minor details, man. Don't worry about that. We're not talking about that today.
It's so
We talk about this. Marriage ain't for suckers, man.
Marriage ain't for suckers.
That's what we talking about.
Suckers. Man, I love it, man. It's funny, D. I'm looking at marriage. And like for real, if you don't pay attention to the details, or if you don't have relationship with the Most High, man, you can lightweight lose your discernment or your spiritual eye,
Oh man.
if that makes sense. There's a lot of stuff happening that I'm watching in the world right now. And I'm like, man, Lord, you're coming in soon. Like, you're not even playing with it no more. And I see why, because the devil ain't playing. You
This
know
ain't
what I'm
no
saying?
joke. This life ain't no joke, bro.
Yeah. Me and Faith were watching this series on TV, and it was good for the first 2 or 3 seasons. And by the time you get to the end of the 3rd season, you start to see this shift taking place. And I'm like,
They
wait,
not,
what happened?
they not think about your holiness when they writing this stuff, bro.
I'm just saying, what happened to the wholeness of the show? Because, like, for real, I don't know about nobody else, D, but I get sick and tired of just watching the murder all. Now, hear me. I am an action flick junkie. If it's a dope action flick, like Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like Marvel. I like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't trouble none of that stuff because I'm one of them espionage boys and I'm already crazy with these in my feet and some other stuff. So I don't watch none of that stuff no more because it's just not safe. It's not safe. I can't do it. I can't do it no more, man.
But I'm saying, like, all of that stuff is like dope. But then when I start seeing them imitate life, like in these shows, and then pushing certain agendas, right? It's unbelievable. There was one where I was watching the husband and the wife have an open marriage, and I was,
what is that? What is that, bro? What is an open marrich?
I
What
don't
that mean?
that don't like that. It's almost oxymoronish if you ask me, right? But for whatever reason, right? And so she ends up having a relationship with this other gentleman, and they all work in the same place. But the
Bruh.
husband didn't know until they revealed it to him later on. But the conversations that were happening while they were doing it, like, you made me feel like, I remember one time she said to him, you made me feel like I'm committing adultery. And I was like, my face, I looked at Faith. I was like, but that's exactly what you're doing. You are committing adultery. She was like, no, I'm not, because it's open.
It's not because if he agree or he don't agree, or if she agree or she don't agree. It's because God does not agree.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what are we building here? Like, what are we telling
Come on,
people?
man.
Yo, if I buy a 325 BMW, right, and I go off road with it, and it's not been properly modified to go off road, I'm going to tear that car up, front, back. I'm gonna bust the axle. I'm going to probably drive something through the oil pan. I'm going to tear the car apart because it was not designed to do that. It was designed to drive on the open road, right?
Yes, sir.
People take their marriage and go off road with it.
Oh,
And then when you tear it up or it get mashed up, then you mad. Here's the funny thing. Let me show you how crazy this is. She ends up getting pregnant.
getting pregnant. I loved how the people say that. She got pregnant.
Yeah, because the two of them met. And here's the funny thing. It was his the not the husband. It was his baby.
Bro, you're making me dizzy.
So they have a conversation between the three of them at when after it's revealed, and now they're trying to make it seem like we're all adults and we can all handle this situation. And D, I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't believe that this is the stuff that you. Now, if you're the average person watching this, right, you'll say to yourself, I don't even know if you'll say it to yourself, but you'll definitely start entertaining thoughts about what would this be like if I had that kind of relationship? You've already
See, you start entertain that. Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, the word declares, by beholding you become changed, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, Faith, I'm done. I'm done.
La coffee.
I'm done. Why? Because it first of all, I love the way Miles Monroe puts it. Whenever you have a vision for your family, your marriage, your business, anytime that you're about to take in, participate in, observe, do anything that's not in alignment with the vision, right? Then you shouldn't do it. Here's the caveat to it. You could even be doing something good, but just because it's good don't mean it's just because it's a good move don't mean it's a God move.
Yeah, bro.
And so what ends up happening though is, because you're doing a good thing and you feel good about doing the good thing, whatever you had the vision for now suffers because the good thing becomes the distraction.
Yeah, so you got two foolful people to agree with you. So you're like, yeah. So they co-sign that. They second witness it. And then you say, all right, then it must be good. It must be godly.
Man. So yeah, man, I've been blown away by it. And as much as they do that stuff, D, as long as they pushing their agenda, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna push our agenda too.
Let's go.
The only thing is that I know about our agenda is a God agenda. Why? Because he the one who ordained this whole thing. And
That's
everything that I talk about it from his perspective. Right? If you want to find out about how a thing really works, then check the manufacturer. Whatever the manufacturer says how it's supposed to operate. Yeah, anything else, you're probably going to tear the product up.
Straight.
You feel me? So I want to touch this real quick, man, and we can jump in. Last night, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the Greenhouse community. And the marriage masterminds that we have twice a month. You know what I'm saying? If you, for real, you want to be amongst marriages that are like-minded, you know what I'm saying, that are God-fearing people, that are like, yo, I want to take my marriage to the next level, and you want to be amongst those people, holla at your boy. I'll give you the info that you need. And if you want to join the community, you can.
I was supposed to be in that community.
Well, come on. I mean, like, for real.
I was supposed to be in there, but I didn't get no link.
Oh, but I got you.
You mad at me because I'm in the sun? You mad at me because I'm in the sun?
No, I can't be mad at you, bro.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to be clear because
Yep. As a matter of fact, as soon as we done, we like, for real. Yeah, no more playing. All right, for real. So do the knowledge. Last night we were talking about marital roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the traditional husband? What is the traditional wife? Right? And so everybody went through everything that, you know, most people think about males do. They take out the garbage. They, they fix things around the house. You know what I'm saying? They put gas in your car and wash your car. They mow the lawn. They do all of these different things. What does the wife do? She's nurturing, and she cooks, and she takes care of the children. All of these different things, right?
Yes, sir.
Here's my question, D. What happens if your spouse is better suited for your traditional roles? So in Atlanta, import racing is a thing. It's a thing. Here in the Carolinas, import racing is a thing. Even
racing vehicles from like Japan and them places.
Yeah, like same thing in Jamaica, but they next level with it here. Like the whole Fast and Furious hookup. That's a thing here.
I got you.
It's like a crazy subculture. I think it's like that in certain parts of Jersey as well. And I know this because when I just before I took a move to Atlanta, I remember I used to have a little Nissan Sentra SER.
Right? Oh, I remember those.
Remember those?
Yeah, man. 5 forward. Yeah.
So in the 2-door stick shift, I was just fresh out of college or whatever. So I didn't have a lot of money, but I could do free flow intake, free flow exhaust. I wanted to put a turbo on it, but I never got the opportunity to do it. So those little things that I would do, you know what I'm saying? Low profile, change the, drop it about you know what I'm saying, 2 inches, inch and a half. Those little things help increase horsepower. So you know, you just whip through the. Here's the funny thing: we had a couple of girls. There was about 3 in particular that I remember, who also, one had a Volkswagen Passat, Safi, that's her name, and Safi and Noosh. They were both, I want to say, not Iranian, but they were their parents were from somewhere in the Middle East. And Safi drove a Passat, and she drove what you call it, the GTI. Right?
So both of them on that low end torque, man. They coming off that line, man. German style. Let's go.
And these chicks could drive. They could drive. But so it was a number of cats who had these cars. I'd say probably about 8 or 9 of us all together. And we would go to Tom's River. They had a group that was over there. Saturday nights, we would take the race, and they knew how to jump off the line. Not only that, they knew their way around a car engine.
Of course.
And they knew it better than your average dude. And I'm not talking about just changing the oil or changing the tire on the car. If they needed to replace the turbo, they knew how to do it.
Yeah.
They were nice with it. I would be, like, for real, crazy if they still don't know. I haven't seen them in years, right, or talked to them in years. But I'd be a fool to think that they still don't have those skills to this very day. I'm curious to know who they married and if they married somebody who has the breadth of knowledge that they have.
I hear where you're going with this.
Right? So they're nice with it, right? But the idea, as we talk about the marital role, is for the husband to be able to do that. So what happens, though, when your wife is nicer than you are at what we would consider a traditional role? You know what I'm saying? What? Tell me about these the potential outcomes, D, because I see some stuff happening.
Well, I think the problem is people make up stuff. If you're just gonna make up random, like, arbitrary stuff, then you argue about random arbitrary stuff.
Wow.
Then you have conflict about random arbitrary stuff.
Wow.
You feel me? So, like, I remember when, years ago, you and I both were at home with our people, with our children.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So first 2 years,
I'm still at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain days, Faith don't get home till later, and I get the bus. I have to go, collect them before she comes back.
So, what do you say about that? Like, for 2 years, I was out in the bush, a different bush than this one, and Simone was on the move and going to a traditional job. Listen, I didn't wear socks. I always wore the same pants. Matter of fact, these pants I got on, I used to wear scrub pants. Take care of the boy. He never had a diaper rash, bro. You know why? Because Poppy was taking care of that. You feel me? He was always taking care. Like, I could go, if I needed to do meetings, there was no problem because the little guy was content. Like, I had it all on lock, bro. But that doesn't mean that I'm his mommy. And it also doesn't mean that I have some kind of way lost my role. Like, I was firing shots at that when I was, at the time I had a blog called The Man That Rocks the Cradle. And one of my entries was firing shots. I think I said I think the title was that's Mr. Dad to You.
Oh, wow.
And then I fired on that movie that they had back in the day called Mr. Mom, making him look like a dude that's fumbling around parenthood, and he's only really just doing what the wife is commanding him to do, because the dude has no idea how to nurture and take care of his children as a man.
Oh, wow.
You feel me? And so that's just one example of, like, who said, even though the woman is more nurturing, who says the man can't nurture? That's the thing. Just because the man is more stern, who says the woman can't be stern in a disciplined situation when necessary?
Absolutely. So this is the reason why I'm talking about, and we'll get into it in a minute. This is the reason why I'm talking about these roles, because once again, society tells you that you should be this and you should do this, right? Not only does society say it to you, the world pretty much says it to you, right? And because a large population, a large portion of the population adhere to societal rules, right? And norms and nuances, right? And so
Yes.
with that happening, who gets to decide what actually happens in your relationship? The two of you that are involved in the relationship, who God put together, let no man put us under, right? Or do
Well,
other people, i.e. society, you know what I'm saying, norms, nuances, all those different things dictate to you what should happen?
listen, let me jump in here with some conflict right here, though, because whatever you're going to say, I'm probably going to agree with you.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're on the World Wide Web right now talking about this.
Yeah.
And so in some areas of the world, regardless of what we say, those stereotypes are not just societal norms. They are cultural, not just cultural, but cultural and religious norms.
Yes.
So there are some places where that is what it's gonna be, and
Yep.
you will not change it.
Yep.
Now, I don't live in one of those places. You don't live in one of those places, but
Me neither.
there are places in the world that you shall not change none of that.
Nope.
It will be according to the stereotype, full stop, or else. Sometimes there are consequences. So I'm going to just leave that where it is. I'm not trying to change anybody's situation in those areas of the world. And I'm going to keep it real vague like that, Quest.
So
Like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm dealing with, like, if you live in the West,
yes.
let's work with it here in the West.
So let me say this. In addition to that, let's deal with, because those are the influences from the outside, right? Let's talk about what happens on the inside. I think sometimes we too, in our marriages, are influenced by societal norms and society's definition of what marriage is. But marriage is not a societal institution. I know some would like to argue that it is, but marriage don't got nothing to do with society. Marriage,
But I got a legal document that says that I'm married.
I understand that because it's contractual and it has to be right, because contracts are always put in place for the purposes of protection.
Okay.
So we have to, because if not, then, but at some point you should move based upon your understanding of how marriage is. And this is the reason why I'm telling you, until you understand what marriage is, how it operates, then you shouldn't even be married, right? At some point you have to move from a contractual understanding to a covenant understanding.
Wait. That sounds like the same word, Quest.
Yep. And I mean, and we're gonna touch it a couple of times, right? But that's in essence what it should be. We should move from a contractual to a covenant, right? So we talked about it the other day. It's so funny that God relates his relationship with us to marriage, right? So, I mean, if you were studying your lesson, well, I already know because your daily portion is dropping them like it's hot. So you feel me? We discussed a couple of weeks ago that there's two covenants. There is a bilateral covenant, right? And then there's a unilateral covenant. Unilateral meaning that I'm going to be God and I'm going to take care of all of you just because I'm God and that's who I am. And you don't have to do anything. Truth be told, if you good, bad, or indifferent, it don't change who I am in terms of God. And, the rain falls on the just and the unjust. The same way the sun shines on the just and the unjust. That's your unilateral. But there are some things that happen in terms of bilateral. If you do this, then I will do this.
So it's conditional.
Oh, come on. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, right? And all the other promises that are in there, and come and heal their land. But
what if they don't? What if you don't?
Oh, if you don't, like for real, then you'll be experiencing what everybody else experiences in terms of the unilateral. You feel me? But here's the funny thing though. We want the blessings of the bilateral in the unilateral covenant, and that's not how it works.
So there's some bonus blessings when we have that agreement with God.
Oh,
Not
no
that
doubt.
God is just coming toward us with the sun. Like right now, if there were a gunman right there,
Mm-hmm.
you see my face right now?
Yeah.
I got a lot of sunshine on my skin.
Yeah.
That brother's got the same sunshine on his skin.
Yep.
And right now, he's not on that love relationship with God flex.
No.
So that's unilateral. Like God gonna give you that sunshine too.
Yep.
But
I love that.
you want the bonus blessings.
Yeah.
The ones that have to do with life, real life.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street.
I want the bonus.
Let's go.
Here's the funny thing about it internally in our marriages, though. We allow ourselves to be influenced by what's happening on the outside, right? Such that it causes a change, if you will, or a challenge inside the relationship. Just because I don't cut the grass as good as you don't mean that I shouldn't cut the grass, is what most people will say, right? Because I believe in societal rules, right? But I'm like, the grass looking jacked up every time I cut it. But because I'm a man and because I don't want to be looked at by anybody else, what happens in your marriage is your marriage.
Yo, you know what happened to me when we were in West Virginia, man? There was a time that the woman so it's a couple in the property next to us. You can't say house because you're talking about acres.
Yes.
Right. So in the property next to us, and she could see that I was having some challenges. Like, I'm juggling everything, and she see all them acres, and she's like, "Yo, if you want me to handle that for you," I'm talking about. Listen, I'm not talking about mowing the lawn, bro. I'm talking about a big old property.
Yeah.
And then after that, she's gonna use the weed whacker.
Yeah.
I'm talking about I'm using a 50-inch zero-turn machine.
Yeah.
To hit that. And then getting off it and doing some stuff. She was like, if you need some help, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
You think her big burly husband had a problem with that? Guess who did most of it on their property?
Yeah.
And he was good at it.
Yeah.
And they had all kind of crops and stuff, but she was just like, I kind of like doing this stuff and I'm dope at it.
Yep.
If you want me to do it, I'll do it. I was like, wow.
You see?
Wow.
You see? It's all about what we want to see. This is the question that I'm always asking, right, D? What is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish?
Mm-hmm.
If we can agree on the goal, that's one thing down. All right, the goal, right?
Yes, sir.
Secondly, there are a number of different tasks that need to be completed or accomplished in order to achieve this particular goal, right? So my question is, who is better suited for these tasks?
I'm going to give you an answer with the exact same words that you just used.
Yeah.
So ask the question again.
So
Who?
there's a goal,
right?
Tasks that we have to perform in order to reach this goal. With all of these tasks that need to be performed, who is better suited? In other words, who is better equipped? Who is better gifted for these particular tasks so that we can achieve the goal?
Okay. So listen to the difference in my voice inflection than what Quest inflection was.
Right.
Who is better suited to accomplish the task?
Yeah. Yeah.
All I did was change how I sound at the end. The answer is the same as the question.
Yep. But the reason we have to ask the question is because some of us are caught up on what you believe to be traditional roles. And so because you caught up on that and you care about what other people think if they see your wife outside mowing the lawn while you inside cooking because you cook better than she do. You worried about people saying, yo, what kind of man are you that you got your wife outside cutting the lawn, not realizing that she, you know what I'm saying? Yes,
sir.
It runs a nursery and she is into agriculture and she does. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
you
sir.
allow people to dictate to you. It's funny when I watch HGTV. That's really and truly, that's my network. I love to watch.
I told you, you and Simone are like best friend cousins or something.
Yo, I'm telling you. So there is a show called Good Bones. It is a mother and a daughter who run a renovation company. And not only do they run the renovation company, they do the actual renovations themselves. She is married to her husband, and all he does is take care of finance.
I remember that. I saw that one episode. Simone showed me that.
A little red.
I remember that. I
right?
saw that. I saw it. Yeah,
Her brothers and his friends, they're the demolition team, right? So they draft up the plans. They come in. They replace what needs to be replaced. They put the beams up. They put the sheetrock up. They do it themselves. Of course, along with a team of people, but they're the ones at the helm doing everything, telling them where everything goes. And I'm looking at the husbands, and the husbands in the office doing finances. They pick up the kids from school. And like, for real, the roles almost seem like they're totally reversed. You would think that she would be in the office taking care of all the bills and doing all of that stuff while he goes and hammers and gun. You should see them. They come out of places dusty and dirty sometimes. They come home, they meet one another, and he's like, all right, go shower, and then we can talk. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff. But the marriage is so sweet. The love that you see them exhibit. Now, I know it's TV. You never know what's happening behind the doors. But if anything happening behind the doors is anything like they're exhibiting in front of the camera, they got a dope. And guess what? They're people who are operating in traditional roles and don't got that kind of relationship.
Listen, man. The episode I saw, they were discussing it. Like he sat on the couch. So they switched the frame. Now he's on the couch, and they're talking about this very thing in that episode. It's about 2 months ago. I don't know if it's a repeat or what it was, but yeah, I saw that, man.
And here's the funny thing: they're winning.
Listen, you hear me? You watching them on TV while people criticizing, you watching him on TV. You watching her on TV.
I'm just saying, you criticizing the and you watching them on the most major network in that area of, you know what I'm saying, home improvement, whatever you want to call that genre of TV. They're killing it. One of the top shows probably on HGTV. Yeah, winning. Their house, dope. While you sitting down in that 2-bedroom, whatever, you criticizing them and they winning. And so I'm saying that some of us are influenced by that. And once again, I want us to be reminded of the fact that at the end of the day, you have an assignment. God said to Adam and Eve, long before rules and regulations, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, and have dominion. Nowhere does it say you supposed to do this and you supposed to do that. Why? Because if you read the word, you'll also find that there is this, I want to be careful in what I'm saying. There's a feminine characteristic that God has when he's caring for us in the area of nurturing.
Now you're getting on my style. You're getting on my subject. Keep going. You
know what I'm saying? Because as a mother hen gathers her chicks. Oh, come on, D. You know the text.
Let me here. All right. So Quest said he wanted to be careful, and I understand that. So there are characteristics of God that he describes in the scriptures.
Come on.
Right? So when he talks about, let's call it wisdom, right? Proverbs chapter 8, if you read the characteristics of wisdom, that's Jesus, right? But at the same time, Proverbs chapter 2 says, if you seek for her as for silver and her as for hidden treasure, then you will have that connection with God and your wisdom will go up. Same thing with love. Love seeketh not her own, right? And I could go on. We can go on. Like, this is something that I've sat on for years. And so I'm not saying anything about the who of who God is. I'm saying that when he manifests his attributes, character traits, there are times that the personification of that character trait is woman. Now, here's the reason. Partially, when God created humankind, the Bible says that he called their name Adam. And then eventually, as we would have said on this program many times, God created him, he created her. And the two of them comprised the earthly vision of who God is. So that's why it's so important that when we get married, we recognize that we are representing God. And you need both of us to do it. So him can't represent God by himself. her can't represent God by himself or by herself in the marriage I'm talking about.
Yeah,
In the marriage concept.
cannot.
We together have to represent that.
Oh man.
That's
Oh,
why
man.
divorce is so destructive. Not just because of the things that we know already statistically, but
Yep.
because of what it does to the people's view of the image of God.
Oh man. Oh man. It's funny, D, because what was it? Come on, Holy Ghost, give it back to me. Yeah, there's no way that we can represent him individually. That's why he said in the garden, it is not good that man should be alone. I would make for him a helpmeet. Because if I allow him to operate the way that he was, then people will get a misinterpretation of who I am. Oh, come on.
And he was holy, perfect, never sinned.
Perfect, bro.
Not good that the man should be all one.
Perfect. So
I need a helper to complete him.
So then it's very important then for us to understand that there is an assignment. Because here's what I realized. Marriage ain't for everybody.
Marriage ain't for suckers.
It ain't for suckers. But here's what's also true, D. The inverse is also true. Singleness ain't for everybody. It is definitely, it's definitely not for me. You feel me? But what I realized is that if you do decide to enter into the institution and be exactly who you need to be, then there will be times where your woman counterpart makes more money than you do. And I know it's a lot of dudes who can't handle that. She pays bills better than you do. If that be the case, and vice versa, there'll be times, ladies, where your husband cooks better than you. There'll be seasons where he has a better connection with the children than you do. Don't get bent out of shape. How can we? And this is the reason why the Proverbs 31 woman is so dope. Because it talks about her being in real estate. It talks about her having businesses. It talks about her getting up in the morning and making food for her family and her servants. It talks about all these different things, but she uses who she is in terms of a boss. Because
that's the exact word that came in my brain, just as you said.
That's the terminology we all using now. She a boss. She got her own. Notice that she uses everything that she has in terms of being a boss to uplift her husband, to uplift her family, and that is her first priority. Some of us are being a boss because we want to call shots and make this and do this and leave your behind. You up front and your spouse is back here. And it should be the same way, vice versa, D. Our roles should always put us in position to uplift the marriage first. I'm sorry. To represent God first, uplift the family, and uplift the spouse next, and the family third. You feel me?
You know what my role is, Quest?
Yeah.
My role is to love my wife.
Yeah.
Like Christ loves his people. That's my role. That's my role. That's all encompassing. That's all consuming. Like that is the role.
Come on. And
if I don't do that, then I'm going to get caught up on arguing about the rest of this stuff. Because I've been socialized, like you probably were, that some of these things are based on sex. It's sex argument. And I've accepted some of them not as a rule, but as the practice. And I'm comfortable with some of the practices. But that we should not conflate. Like we should not be confused. Like if you're married to someone who's just like, bro, I'm not feeling, I know what you're talking about some of this stuff. Then you have to be honest and say, well, what part of this is biblical? What part of it is societal or my preference? Mm-hmm. And then deal with that thing honestly.
Absolutely.
You have to be honest with this thing, man, or else you're going to mash up your life.
Bro, been there, done that, and I ain't going back.
Ooh.
I'm talking about I'm not going back.
Yeah.
You understand? Faith could say crazy stuff to me, and oftentimes not crazy stuff, but say stuff in a tone that is just not, as far, the way that I was raised and where I come from was not received.
That was her behavior style talking.
Right.
Nothing else.
But here's the funny thing. Every time it comes, it is not an opportunity for me to clap back. It is an opportunity for Christ to live himself out in the members, in the thoughts of anything and everything that I do as an individual. What am I going to do when that burn happens? Am I going to clap back and do more damage or put micro cracks in the trust of my relationship? Or am I going to operate in the fullness of Christ so that she can, because her transformation is going to be, my transformation is going to be the catalyst for her transformation.
Yeah, you're going to become abusive.
Oh, come on.
You're going to assert yourself.
Come on.
Become abusive.
Come on.
Listen, we said something, since we're talking about stereotypes, it just hit me while I was saying that.
Yeah.
Listen, can you imagine if you were married Layla Ali?
Oh, wow. And you're
5'8",
yeah.
a buck 160 pounds.
Yeah.
And Layla Ali is your wife. And you're not an athlete of any kind. You're an average male.
Yeah.
And Layla Ali is your wife.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that without contextualizing it.
I'm just saying, like some people
20 years ago, Layla Ali was your wife.
Oh, in the prime.
So who's Layla Ali? Who's Layla Ali, bro? Who is that? Who is that?
That's Muhammad's daughter, and she got them things too. I'm telling you, she's nice.
She will box the paint off your face. And
I'll pop off your beard. Pop off your beard. I'll box off your goatee.
so yeah, that may be distressing to some brothers. If you're you're an average man.
Yeah.
You are a business dude who's never lived anywhere hard. You don't know anything about self-defense or fighting or combat.
But your
wife is a championship boxer.
but you trying to get fly with your mouth and try to swing hands. You're gonna get up.
So this is why love and respect matter. Like, I just made that up because it hit me.
Right.
But that's why love and respect matters, because that's irrelevant.
Right.
Like there's nobody in this house that I live in that can beat me.
But I would never even.
But it's a non-factor.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a non-factor. It's
Absolutely.
a non-issue. There's no fighting going on in this house.
None. Yeah.
So it's irrelevant.
Yup.
Love and respect. That's all that's in this house.
Absolutely.
Love and respect.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. And here's the funny thing: when you are transformed and you operate out of that place, and you are consistently operate. I'm not talking about a shift or a change. I'm talking about a transformation, which means you leave the old person and put on the new person, never to pick up the old person again. When you operate consistently in that place, it transforms the relationship.
Yes, sir.
So do the knowledge, because I know we got to get out of here. 3 things I want to leave y'all with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is, like, for real, know how God defines a husband and a wife. What is a husband and what is a wife, right? He calls the wife to be a helper, right? To respect, to esteem, to honor, right?
And complete,
and to submit. I know that that's a bad word, but submit. But here's the caveat: submit to a man that submits to God. That's number 1. And then number 2, the word clearly states that we should submit one to another. So the same way she's submitting to you, brother, you submit to her, right? So that's the second part, right? So, I mean, the first part for women, right? You are called to be a helper to your husband. Husbands, sacrificially love.
That's a big word. Sacrificial.
Yeah, right? Love, lead, not boss or dominate. Let me say it one more time. Husbands, sacrificially love, lead. And when I say lead, I'm not talking from a bossy, you know what I'm saying, you dominating your wife. No. None of that. Lead, right? Cherish your wives. And you said it earlier on, D, the same way that Christ cherishes us.
Ooh. It's a high standard.
It is a high standard because, yo, if you ask me, God puts up with stuff when he's dealing with me. I'm inconsistent. The time I'm supposed to, like, you know what I'm saying? I can get on his, like, for real, do the stuff that breaks his heart time and time again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And he's still taking care of me and still blessing me. It's a sacrificial love.
Yes, sir.
You feel me? So that's number one. That's number one. Know how God defines a husband and a wife. Number two, right, is know your individual giftings, right? And how those how they help fulfill your marital role. I'm gonna say it one more time. Know your individual giftings and how they help you fulfill your marital role. Like, do you know what you're good at? Do you know in what ways you exceed past your spouse in a particular area? Concentrate on those things and using them to fulfill your marriage, whatever the gift may be. If it's not your thing and you know your spouse is nicer than you at that thing, just go on and hand it over. Whenever anything comes to structure or adding, like for real, step by step and every rules and regulations and protocol,
she got you beat by a long shot.
She runs major circles around me. And what I do is I'm like, yep, you take pole position. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
That's right.
Why?
And there's no problem. That's no problem.
No problem whatsoever, right? So that's number two. Lastly, know the healthy balance in your home. Like for real, for real. There's nowhere in the Bible that says women ought to cook and men ought to vacuum or clean the litter box or go outside and wash car and cut lawn, right? There's nothing that says a man should do that and a woman should stay in the house and deal with the children. Sometimes what you have in terms of a gift or talent and what your husband has totally contradicts traditional roles. If that be the case, once again, we said it in the beginning, what's the goal? What are y'all trying to achieve?
Yes, sir.
Financially, spiritually, mentally, physically? What are you trying to achieve in terms of family goals, marital goals? Once you can do that, identify the tasks that will allow you to achieve that goal. Agree on who's stronger or better suited for each one of those tasks and get to work. In other words,
what?
Execute.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. That's good, bro.
Yep, that's what I got.
So we need to just be faithful to the call, faithful to the vow that we have made with God and with our spouses.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And anything else is a conflict. And those conflicts are unacceptable, man. We do not accept conflict that is unnecessary, especially the ones that take you down an unholy pathway.
We want phenomenal marriages.
Let's get them.
Stay
That's
focused.
Stay focused. Peace.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Adiós. Hasta mañana.